Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Nafiese, salaam, the founder of I.H.S.A.N, the Islamic Health Support Network. You can reach my site at islamichealth.wordpress.com, or you can reach me by phone at 267-636-2274. I'm certified by the Department of Health in the city of Philadelphia as a certified counselor, HIV counselor and tester. I work with Drexel University doing the heterosexual survey. I've also worked with Philadelphia Fight doing educational presentations on HIV. And most recently, I spoke at the convention center speaking about what religious communities can do to educate the communities about HIV, hepatitis, diabetes, hypertension, and cancer in our communities. Our mission is to educate all, but primarily we deal with the heterosexual and Islamic communities, because by number and by personal conversation, these are the two communities that feel that they have the less at risk, which is totally not the case. We also speak with these communities about other health issues that plague our black communities. HIV and AIDS in the United States. Since the U.S. epidemic began, more than 560,000 people have died of AIDS. More than 100,000 people in the U.S. are living with HIV. As estimated, 230,000 of those people don't even know they are infected. As of 2006, approximately 56,300 people became infected with HIV. African Americans make up the highest proportion of new infections by race, ethnicity, with an estimated 24,900 new infections. By risk group, men who have sex with men had the highest proportion of new infection, with an estimated 28,700 new infections. More infections occur among young people under 30, between the ages of 13 and 29, than any other age group, with 19,200 new infections. The big picture is, every 9.5 minutes in the U.S., someone is infected with HIV. Today, more than 1 million people are living with HIV and AIDS. And as you can see, this chart shows exactly that. America's two epidemics. Percent of AIDS cases, adults and adolescents by rate. By looking at this graph, you can see the constant increase of AIDS cases within the black community. And although it seems to be leveling off at some point, it's still higher than whites and Hispanics. So it's definitely need to be something that needs to be dealt with. We also are aware that areas with the highest infection are areas that are impoverished areas, areas with heavy drug use, and areas that have high homelessness rates. I.H.S.A.N is the only grassroots network in the city of Philadelphia that goes in these neighborhoods that most other facilities or organizations won't even think about going, to test, to counsel, and to educate. And where actually the root of these problems are at for us as a black community. We offer testing for HIV, hepatitis C. We counsel on hypertension, diabetes, and cancer. In Philadelphia, this pandemic is crazy. The rate of infection is 5 times over the national average. So it's definitely something that needs to be talked about here in Philadelphia. Philadelphia estimates. In Philadelphia alone, estimated numbers of people living with HIV as of 2008 are 18,640. The new number of infections in the same year is 1,174. And 53.6% are heterosexuals. Now these stats were taken in 2008. It's 2010 right now, so we're sure that it's only safe to assume that these numbers have increased greatly. Philadelphia rate of new infections is 5 times higher than the national average, with almost 30% women. Over 60% are African Americans, and more than 70% are over 40 years of age. Heterosexual sex is the most common mode of transmission. As you can see by the stats from the Inquirer, dated that same year, 2008, the new infection rate in Philadelphia is higher than the U.S. new infection rate, with 23,000 per capita, and New York City. So this is definitely an issue that needs to be addressed here in Philadelphia. In this slide, you can see we are a city of a neighborhood, but don't get it twisted. Philadelphians are very transit and move all over the city. We take our diseases where we go, including non-STDs like strep throat or the common cold. Some center city areas, Frankfurt, Southwest Philly, have large institutions that people use as their address. In the Northeast, zip code 19136 is where all the Philadelphia prison system facilities are located, which explains why the rate is so high there. Nationally, 1 out of 7 people living with HIV, this is around 14% of HIV positive people will pass through the correctional facilities every year. I guess you're asking, what does it have to do with Muslims or heterosexuals? Well, it has a lot to do with them. By Muslims, Islam being the fastest religion growing worldwide, Muslims are coming from all walks of life. They having dark pasts and coming from different lifestyles. So they embrace the deen and they have baggage. You know what I mean? So sometimes this baggage is health related. So these people need to be educated, along with the community. The Islamic community also needs to be educated on this matter. As far as heterosexual males and females, Philadelphia, like I said earlier, Philadelphia is a very transit city. People are constantly moving around for various reasons. Recession, people can't afford their rent. They're moving here, moving there, moving there. You might have a brother that was living in North Philadelphia. He was an IV drug user. He got treatment, but he didn't know he was infected with the virus. He moves uptown, gets involved with your sister, your mother, your aunt, and in turn affects them. So this comes from lack of education. Education and poverty also play a key role in this, or the lack of education and poverty play a key role in this, because if you lack the education or you're in a poverty-stricken situation, you have less interest in health concerns, because at that point your main concern is where you're going to live. You'll put off, something physically being wrong with you, because what's high on your priority list is finding some place to sleep that night. So poverty and education, learning about these issues, are also related to HIV and the lack of health care. The poorer the neighborhood, the greater chance of residents being infected and affected by HIV disease. Health literacy, reading and understanding health-related information, is very low overall in impoverished regions. Literacy rate, high school dropout rate, truancy, lack of income are all associated with drug use, drug selling, deaths due to violence, and death due to disease. So as you can tell from that slide, that it is imperative that we teach, test, and counsel as many people as possible, realizing that judgment is with Allah alone. And again, you can find more information on my site, Islamic Health, that's one word, .wordpress.com. You can call us at 267-636-2274, or you can email us at nysalaam43@yahoo.com. Also, please keep in mind, we are only as strong as you allow us to be. So we continuously need contributions, whether it be health books, Islamic books, office equipment, computer equipment, pencils, pens, copiers, your personal time, any personal references, and of course, financial contributions is always needed. This is a very important matter for our present and future communities. My plea is with the heterosexual community and the Islamic community primarily, but actually to anyone that sees this video worldwide, get tested, get educated, invite us to your masjids, to your facilities, to your schools, and get to know what's going on, because what we have to say is a matter of life and death. Assalamu alaikum.